Hello, thank you for listening to this telecast. Thank you for viewing this telecast. This is the Diaspora Panel, the voice of the diaspora, where we discuss political events in Nigeria and worldwide. I am together here, as always, with my colleagues. I have Mr. Olaitan Adedigba, who is based in America, United States of America. Mr. Adedigba, you are welcome to today's meeting.
Yeah, it's my pleasure being here this afternoon.
And I also have Mr. Ola Lawal, who is based in Canada. Mr. Lawal, you are also welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
So if this is your first time of listening or viewing this telecast, you are welcome to this channel. And we employ you to hit this subscription button. What it means is that anytime we do a new video, you will be one of the first people to know about it. If you have any news, information, or you have any advice for us, please send your email to info@diasporapanel.com. To see all our videos, just go to www.diasporapanel.com. My name is Dejiola Iya, and I am based in Ireland, the Republic of Ireland. In the last few weeks, we've seen the spate of kidnappings and bombings, banditry, terrorism all over Nigeria. And it's like all hell has been let loose. And nobody is happy with this. I know the presidency is grappling with it, especially with the spate that has been happening in Abuja, where the kidnapping has now become an everyday occurrence. Now, we saw also what happened in Ibadan a few days ago, in Bodija specifically, where some explosives were said to have gone off, which flattened almost about 100 houses. You know, anything within the radius of about 250 meters was flattened. So, and then there's been a spate of other bombs going off in other parts of the country. So we need to be able to, put all this together and actually find out what exactly is going on. Why at this time when the presidency is trying to stabilize the country economically, when the country is when the Naira is going haywire, where people are still grappling with all kinds of palliatives, Nigeria are still trying to adjust to the removal of fuel subsidy. And now we have kidnappings going haywire all over the place, banditry all over the place, terrorism all over the place. And let me start with you, Shupo, since you are the first person in the studio. Do you think that some people are behind this, or do you think this is just something that the society is reacting to the poverty in the land?
Thank you very much for having me today. I'm going to be brutally honest this morning. Nobody is behind anything. What we are seeing is a total breakdown of government. We have government agencies that are not doing their jobs. As a matter of fact, explosives and all those types of materials in organized societies are termed as hazardous materials. And you actually have to be able to track the movement of hazardous materials across your country, because otherwise what's going to happen is people are going to bring them in and they're going to use them, in nefarious ways, for example, for terrorism, or they may store them in areas that may pose a threat to public safety, which is what has happened here. I mean, in very serious societies, the amount of materials that you bring in legitimately is tracked from where it is brought in, from which port of entry, how it is transported, and where it is stored. Those things are very much tracked, and it's to ensure that it doesn't pose a threat, to public safety, and at the same time, it's not used, even though it's brought in legally, for illegal activities, like terrorism or all of those type of things. Clearly, it doesn't even seem that the materials were tracked, because if if they were, somebody should have alerted or should have found out that the materials were not being stored appropriately. That didn't happen until, unfortunately, the event happened. I think one thing that we really need to look at in our society is, we blame everybody. Oh, somebody is behind it. Did we track these materials? Which government agencies were responsible for tracking them? Who gave out these licenses, to people to bring in these, hazardous materials? Explosives are not materials that should be transported, willy-nilly. So it is a failure of government, to have the appropriate level of oversight for these types of materials and these activities that has occurred here. So it's, every time we point our finger at somebody, there are 4 fingers pointing back at us. Government has failed. Government is failing. I'm interested to see and hear what is going to be done differently to ensure that this type of event does not happen in, a public, in a large cosmopolitan area like it did in Ibadan.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Laita, do you agree
Yeah.
with Chupo that this government has failed or this government is failing? And if you don't, or if you do, what do you think is responsible for? Please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. And so, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think is responsible for this increase in the state of kidnappings and bombings? Somehow it just spiked up in the last maybe 1 or 2 weeks. What is responsible? Why? Why has this happened?
Yeah, what really responsible for the spate of killing, maiming, abduction, all these things is the type of, is the way our government, they don't monitor the people, and enabling law, they are not followed. Right? There should be a checks and there should be regulations on whatever we are doing. Right? Don't forget President Ahmed Tinubu, right, inherited a huge deficit of problem from Buhari, and notwithstanding, there is just trying. Can you believe in the last 24 years we've been killing, we've been saying we are battling, with the same thing, we are buying weapons to checkmate Boko Haram. There is no result. Every day they keep growing, right? So what we do is let us change our tactics, change the approach, right? And by the time we look at what is happening, the one you just mentioned, there is no regulation. How many explosives are to be there? What are there are regulations, sorry, so to say. They said there are regulations on how many explosives you could. But an instance whereby somebody who is being, the DSS, the police, they are the delay for him, a foreigner in Ibadan. The DSS and the police, they are the delay for him. So he can carry a lot of explosives, more than necessary, right? To the residential house. And another part is our people, their inability to speak out, right? It's causing a lot of problem. Where they discover that, okay, this guy, the movement is suspicious, they should have alerted police or maybe soldier or anybody. They should have allowed army, Nigerian army, that these people, he keep bringing explosive to this area, right? Like it comes down to what we've been saying, that we need state police. We cannot just continue to be controlling the police in Nigeria from Abuja, right? Before they call to AIG, the AIG to Inspector General is late. We cannot continue doing the same. We need state police. If we had state police, we have local county police, they should have manned this place. They should have known these people, they should have reported. They should have do something about it. Right? And our state government too, they are not doing enough. Right? The legislators, not until something bad happens before we think that we should do something. There should be a regulation, there should be a enabling law. Right? They should make a law that, okay, this is what, nobody should do this. No, it is not for you just to be voted. You are campaigning that you want to be the House of Assembly member. You are there to protect the people. You are there to protect the interests of the people, your constituents. Right? Not that you just go there, you just throw Agbada, how many bedroom allowance you want, how many? No. You have to serve the people. Let their people know, and they should be calling all their representatives to order. Right? An instance like this should not have happened. Yeah, how many guns do you know that we are in circulation in Nigeria?
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Let me hold your thoughts there. You mentioned something very, very significant. You talk about state police. Now,
okay.
But let me go over to Shupo. Shupo, I'm going to ask you this next question. We're going to follow up from where life now stopped, okay? On the issue of state police, I know that this has been going on for so long, even before Bola Tinubu became president. And we know that Bola Tinubu, right from the beginning, is somebody who stood up for restructuring, he stood up for fiscal federalism. In fact, in the last instance, they were talking about community policing and all that. Right now, I heard somebody on the TV who was saying that Nigeria is grossly under policed. I think I heard that we have about 300,000 policemen for 200 million people. And out of these 300,000, about 1/3 of them are attached to big people to carry their handbags, to escort them around. So we have only about 2/3, about 200,000 thereabout, to police 200 million people. So now what we need to do as a nation, we all know, is to ramp up the number of police that we have. We have to employ more people, more police into the police. Now, if about 100,000 are being sent to go and police, all these rich people, all these elites, what are they paying for it? For example, if you ask them to pay 1 million per police per month, if you have a police escort in a month, you pay 1 million. If they pay 1 million to the police can then use that 1 million to employ about maybe 4 more people, to fill that gap. So, and I think it might be the time for us to have a state police. People have argued that state police will be in the hands of state governors and they will use it to chase around their opponents. But even now that they don't have state police federal, they're still using the police anyway to do whatever they are. So I think it's a matter of putting the right laws in the right place. But Chupo, do you think it's the right time now for state police, or do you think we should just continue with one police force for the whole nation?
To be very honest, I don't think it's as much as where the police is being controlled. I think it is a matter of what the police is doing. I think certainly having a state police might engender a more reactive scenario where, especially, if the police force is made up of people from the community, I think there will be a lot more accountability, and the force itself will likely be more willing to respond to incidents that happens within the communities, because that is their people. But I think the larger problem actually is what the police will be doing, because if they are doing the right things now and they're understaffed, it's a very simple solution. Just hire more people, train them, and then they continue to do it. But even as of now, I don't believe the police are doing the right thing in policing. Communities are not, being protected. As a matter of fact, many communities are basically sitting ducks, for terrorists and illegal, activities, waiting to be slaughtered. So maybe bringing it down to the local community and having people hired from the local community will engender a better sense of accountability. And people can actually, if the police are not doing their jobs, they can, demand accountability from local officials. That probably might help. I think the bigger problem is exactly how what the police is currently doing. You will see on many Nigerian roads, many checkpoints, they will be collecting. What are they doing? that is not how to properly police. A proper and a well-trained and equipped police force will do a lot more investigations and, spot, detect illegal activity or terrorist activities or anything of that nature before they actually happen. So maybe having a state police is the beginning of it. There's a lot that needs to be done in hiring the right people, providing the right level of training and equipment for them to be able to function properly as a modern police force.
Thank you very much, Shuko. Lighton, let me come back to you. I think we're getting somewhere. Definitely, we need more policemen in Nigeria. Look at what happened in Plateau State, where they were going from one village to another village from one town, and they were slaughtering human beings, just like fowls. The same thing happened in Benue State. The same thing is happening in Kaduna State. It's happening in Niger State, and they actually tried it in the Southwest. I think it's in Oyo State, but they were quickly checkmated, by some militants, from the Southwest. So now, Lighton, I mentioned something that Shukwa didn't pick up. I said that if we have about 100,000 policemen thereabout being attached to, rich people to go and police them, some of them, you'll be surprised they have about 10 people, 10 policemen, 20 around them, going escorting them everywhere. But then, what are they paying? If you charge them 1 million per police each, it means for about 100,000 people, if they are paying 1 million per person, that's about 100, maybe 100 billion. You can use that. You can use 1 million collected on one policeman to, employ maybe about 3 or 4 more policemen, so that for that 100,000 that we have lost to protecting rich people, we can actually get about 400,000 more. Do you think this is something that the police should be looking at?
Yeah, that is another angle, and a brilliant suggestion by the Geolaya. I never even thought of that. I'm telling you, if Nigeria is under police already, right? And with the avalanche of police serving the private people, we need to recruit more police. Like I said, I see insist. If we have local police, community police, they will know the criminals. They will envisage that, okay, this is where this thing can happen. I gave an example in New York, precisely Bronx. Do you know what they do? Everybody, all the youths there, they make sure they fingerprinted them. Once they will round you up, they will go and fingerprint. They will round you up. Can you believe one day there was a burglary incident, and they went into that place, and the experts, they just make sure that they do the forensic analysis, and you know that they got the fingerprint of the culprit.
Very quickly, yeah.
In their database. So they said this is the person. So the guy now confessed that they are 4. So this is what I'm talking about. If we have people who can manage, like, okay, Magbo Ibadan area, right? So those people, they will know their movement. These people is strange here. These guys, they want to know the house you are going, where you are coming from, where you are going. So these are the way to police, right? We can't just leave ourselves to the vagaries of the society. It will be terrorized. The principal duty of government is to provide security for the people, right? And they come to what we just said. An instance whereby we have 2, 3 police escorting only one civilian, king. All this thing, no, it's wrong. Let them pay. We cannot be paying. I mean, we cannot be using add down money, the taxpayer money to pay for the police that they are using. It's wrong. So it's another dimension that you suggested that they should pay. So when they pay from that money, from that money they will pay the police or 4 or 5 people they employed.
Yeah.
So nice idea.
If somebody, yeah, if you say I want one police, super, I can see you have your answer. Please give me a moment. I'll get to you. If somebody said they are request for 5 policemen as security guard, no problem. I am in support of it. It's all for security, but let them pay 1 million each per month. That's 5 million. So now, if you give somebody a police escort, and that person pays 1 million. Now, from that 1 million, you can pay the salary of that policeman.
Yeah.
And then let's say the salary is about 250,000 a month. I don't know how much they are paying. So let's assume it's 250,000 a month. That means you set up about 750,000, with which you can hire 3 more policemen to replace that one person. So if you do that, as you are losing 100,000 policemen to all this escort service, you can bring in 300,000 more, and then you can send them all over the place. And I think, and I agree with you that even if you are not going to have state police, you can have community policing in the sense that
we need the community
if somebody is from Mangu local government, post them to Mangu. They know each other there. They speak the same language. They have the same culture. So if they see somebody they have not seen that didn't grow up with them, they can approach you and say, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. What is your name? What is your? Where do you live?" They can take their fingerprints. So anybody who's passing, they will know. So in that instance, if there's any crime, it is very easy to
identify those people.
Yeah, to identify and quickly and solve the problem. So Shukwa, you are raising up your hand. Yeah, you want to
Yes. So I'm not in support of that proposal, and the reason is because
so which proposal is that?
Of probably having policemen escort people who can pay the police service and then use that revenue to then hire more police.
No, it's not a proposal. What I tried to explain was that right now, what is going on is that 1/3 of Nigerian police are already in escorts. They have been posted to escort rich people.
It's actually a bad model.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm saying is that we can actually benefit from it by asking them, to pay for that service. And then once they pay for that service, because the problem Nigeria has now is that we don't have the money to pay, to bring in more police. The finances are not there. So they can actually raise money by sending one person out, collect 1 million, and use that 1 million to bring in 3 more people.
I disagree slightly with the fact that there's no revenue. I think it's a matter of priority. And the way security should be done, it should not be done to benefit the rich and the wealthy or the people in high office. As a matter of fact, I would say if we really want a quick solution to this problem, remove security detail from public officials. You will get a very good solution very quickly. The reason why this thing keeps persisting is because they are protected. Their own children are protected. Their families are protected. So, the average Joe can continue to be slaughtered. It doesn't really move them. That's why we have lawmakers who can still talk about buying 160 million Jeep when they have communities that are being slaughtered. If they themselves are in the line of fire, trust me, they will find a long-lasting solution to this problem. It's the same problem we've always had. We are complaining, for example, that there's not enough healthcare. Why will elected officials tackle this as a problem when they can easily go abroad to receive treatment? Why would they renovate and ensure that the universities are actually properly equipped when their own children can go abroad? This is the problem that we have in Nigeria. The problem is there is no incentive from the elected officials to fix this problem because they are protected. They have police escorts. So what do they care? As a matter of fact, for many of them, it's a new cycle. So a new community gets slaughtered, 24 hours news cycle, it moves on to something else. So this is part of the problem. The policing, what they may do is license private security organizations who can carry maybe light weapons and structure it in a way that people who are in the police force can take part-time employment in some of these. It's done in many societies. When you go, for example, to nightclubs and whatever, the people who are bouncers are most likely off-duty police officers. So it's an avenue for them to make some extra money, but and that actually makes it possible for you to employ more police officers, and pay them, a relatively decent wage, but give them an opportunity, to make some additional money, through private security organizations. It's worked in many countries and it can work very well in Nigeria. But I believe that the reason why this problem has persisted for this long is because elected officials have a decent level of security wherever they go, so they don't feel what the average Nigerian is feeling.
Okay, thank you, Shuko. I don't really buy the idea that we should remove security from elected officials because it means then they're going to be vulnerable. I think the state has the state must protect our elected officials, including the president. I'm not going to ask the president, the security details of the president or vice president to be removed. If you are not saying that, we cannot remove the security details of our House of Rep members, our House of Assembly member. I think we should protect them. But I do agree with your principle, in principle, that what we need to do is for all our elected officials to face the real job that they are, that they are elected to do, instead of going to go and fight for 160 million Jeep. I do agree with you with that. And Lighton, I'm coming to you now. Now, we've seen the model in the Southwest called Amotekun, which has been established in the last maybe 2 or 3 years, and they are doing very well. The governors have not used Amotekun to chase their opponents around. Amotekun are going into all the ungoverned spaces, into the forest, into the bush. They are catching all these criminals. They are staying on the roadside. They are not collecting bribes. And they're catching all these kidnappers. They are actually providing the right intelligence, for the police. Now, the only problem now is that they don't carry weapons. So their scope is limited. Now, about a few weeks ago, I listened to, an interview with Mr. Segun Falana, SSN, Segun Falana, and he said that any Nigerian can actually apply it for a weapon, to carry, to buy a gun, as long as, you are not mentally deranged, as long as you're mentally stable, you can actually apply. So why can we not have this Amotekun, have all this regional security outfit in all the different regions, and apply for guns for them, so that they can look at what is going on in Plateau State. If you have a Plateau State, Amotekun there, maybe 10,000 people, and you apply for them, gun for them, and you give them guns, they can go into the forest. Well, what's going on is that they're all sitting duck. They're all just waiting in their houses to be slaughtered. But if you have people, I don't support the idea of allow everybody to carry weapons. I think we should get a few people, maybe 10,000 people, train them on those weapons, apply to the police for them to carry this weapon, and then we can put them in strategic places, and they can go and they can tackle this menace of being sitting on in their homes, and people are just coming to just slaughter them there. Do you think that's what Nigeria should look at that option?
Yeah, it's long overdue that Nigerians should be harmed. If we are harmed, I think the rate of the spite of killings would have reduced. Well, somebody you want to go and meet at home, if you know that the guy may have gone, you will exercise some restraint. But an instance whereby they just keep down, they are there in Plato, they be killed 700,000 and 700 people. In Nasarawa, they will kill these people. They will go to their villages. They will kill them, and they should not retaliate. You see, they inculcated a lot of fear into their mind that okay, they are Fulani, they should not touch, they are untouchable. If you take them, if you arrest them, they will the order from the above. We ask them, okay, oh, I mean, they should be released. So this is the area. I think it is now the time for everybody to be armed, right? And if but the amount of money to apply for license is too much. Like when we wanted to, I mean, when a friend of mine applied for, they asked him to go and pay 500,000 naira. But how many people can afford that 500,000? And they gave him pump action. They gave him one gun. So he applied in Lagos and they gave him. But what I'm saying in essence is let everybody be armed. The spite of killing will be reduced if they are armed. No, and the arm you are carrying is for self-defense. They should try and educate them again that you don't need to go and kill anybody. You don't need to go. But anybody that wants to come to you have to come and kill him first, right? So you let them know. Anybody that wants to abduct your children, you kill them. Anybody want to encroach on your farm, right? You kill them. So all these things will reduce. Depends, I'm telling you, right? So that is the way I view it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lighton. I don't really agree that we should allow everybody to carry arms because if you get into the hands of women and they'll be asking their husband, where did you sleep last night? They're going to have a lot of trouble, if you know what I mean.
But
So,
an instance where they are killing them, they are coming to their homes in the middle of the night, in the wee hour of the morning, to kill them.
I think what we need...
Without any resistance.
Yeah, I think what we need is something like Amotekun in every part of Nigeria, but they need to be armed so that they can go into the forest. They cannot be going to the forest with Shakabula and with charms. They need AK-47, AK whatever it is to go into. Once the terrorists know that these guys are carrying arms, they will disappear from those forests. So anyway, but let's bring this to a close. So Shupo, I'm going to ask you finally now.
Just a minute, if I may, just on that last question. I'm still following a story that I learned about yesterday, where I think this happened in Ibadan recently, where some community landlords went to complain to Amatekun that there were spites of robbery and some activities, illegal activities going on in their communities. And Amatekun came in on an afternoon, started shooting, actually sporadically, and 2 innocent people were shot. This is Amatekun. So again, for me, I don't think it's a matter of necessarily having community police, but actually providing the right training and the right equipment for them to perform safe policing. One lady, young lady, coming back from where she was learning a trade, was shot. And the Amotekun people had the guts on, while this lady was bleeding on video, to still be, trying to ask her a question, when the next thing for them to have done was to have actually transported her to the hospital for medical treatment. This is what we have in our society. So, will Amotekun help? I think so. But I think there's a lot that needs to be done. First of all, in hiring the right people, providing them the right level of training, providing the right level of equipment, and holding them accountable.
Right. Okay, Shuko, I agree with you. Things like that do happen. Even the police, they do stuff like that. There are some, there's some, policemen who just go bizarre. And even soldiers, and they kill innocent citizens. So I agree that we need to provide the right training, and we need to make sure that whoever we are giving arms to, there must be people who are level-headed, not people who are crazy, if you know what I mean. So, but as it is right now, we need more policemen, we need more security outfits like Amotekun who know their ground. Look at there's something called in the Northeast called the civilian something in the Northeast, and they were able to track down all these Boko Haram. They were able to track them down and and cleanse them out because they know the footpaths, they know where they can hide. So we need, if it's not state police, we need community policing. And if it's not community policing, we need something like a regional outfit like Amotekun, or we can have all of them, because the first and the most important, role of a government is to provide security. I mean, if everybody is dead and you're having a good economy, who are going to benefit from the economy? So, Lighton, let me give you your final say. If you are to advise the president right now, if you're sitting across to the president, what would you be telling him to do?
What I would tell Mr. President is not I've said it. That was my first statement here. We need to change approach to security architecture in Nigeria. And the approach is we've been pumping money to buy equipment, to buy this, to buy. Why not empower people? Empower these people. Let them, there should be conditional cash transfer. There should be training and retraining.
So empower which people?
Empower those people who are not working. Those people who are working, you give them incentive. The hunger is so much. When the hungry man is an angry man. When the hunger is so much like this, there will be tend to be a killing, there will be a abduction.
Lighter, I think this is another thing we can discuss that next week, because we've seen now that look at what is happening in the humanitarian department, and all this money they are going to private pockets. They're not actually reaching the people.
That is why we need name. We need this name to be posted into their accounts. They will just be crediting their accounts. They should do all those people. They are not supposed to be individual. All these workers in the ministry. No, they should be everybody. All those the checklist. I will send something to you after about the discussion. The checklist is there with the work bank. We have put the work bank.
I think we can discuss that next week. That's a very big one. It's a very big thing.
Yes. So we did all these things. The checklist is there to identify the borders of the poor. So the poor, they have the name, they have the account now, they have the account details. According to those people in the villages to go and open an account, they put it into they be credited their account every month. So or every 2 weeks. So this is where they can be. So the rate, those people who are not working, the rate of crime will be reduced. Okay. Nobody wants to commit crime when you are well fed. But when you don't have any means, you are not fed, you'll be saying that if they invite you to come and kidnap, we get 500,000, you will not go. Everybody will want to go. So that is it. The government should take the approach. Give people, not that people will be collecting to 35 million, 43 million every month. And so people cannot afford square meal.
$35,000.
$35,000. I mean, 35 million.
All right.
Every month. Okay. Yes.
We're out of time. So for just 1 minute, let me just give you 1 minute to clarify. What will you be advising the president to do right now?
Give me 2 minutes.
I would say the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in this first year should focus on 4 major things. One is to fight corruption, because it doesn't matter how good a plan you have, if elected officials and rank and file are corrupt, that corruption becomes the single existential threat to both the survival of the country and to the success of the program. So that would be the first thing, fight corruption. Secondly, is to tackle insecurity. That needs to be a major focus, because even if we are asking foreign investors to come, or we are asking against the diaspora to come back, all of these things can only work if there's security of life and property. The third thing is restructuring. Nigeria needs to be systematically restructured. The current structure we have is definitely not serving us, and it cannot continue as it is. And the last item that I would say they need to focus on is the economy. These 4 areas should be the core focus of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at least in the first 2 years of this administration.
Okay.
If you tackle corruption and you have a better security for Nigerians, you restructure the country and you grow the economy, I tell you, Nigeria will be a different place. That will become the envy of the world, and that even Nigerians in the diaspora and other people in other parts of the world would like to come and invest.
Thank you very much, Lighton. So we've come to the end of today's deliberation. And let me say that next week we will discuss something that Lighton has brushed on, which is about making sure that everyone in Nigeria who is poor is being given something. What's going on now is that all these Empower all these conditional money transfer reaches only pockets of people. And they're not even getting this money. The majority of this money is going into the pockets of ministers and people in government. So, but what Nigeria needs is a system to be put in place whereby every single person who needs help will get something every week. It's called social welfare in Western countries. It's been done, in advanced countries. So this is what we're going to discuss next week. We're going to break everything down, for all our viewers. So I want to say thank you again, guys, for coming to today's deliberation. Mr. Olalawal, all the way from Canada, thank you so much for coming to today's meeting.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Olaitan Adedigba, all the way from United States of America, thank you for being at today's meeting.
It's my pleasure.
And to all our viewers, I'm Nikolaya. We'll see you again next week. To do a new video and send it out to you. Until then, goodbye. God bless you.